Hi mathematicians, welcome to Fact Fluency. Remember that mathematicians are fluent with their facts when they are flexible, accurate, and efficient. I am going to show you what these three things look like today while we are learning about the strategy start with 10. This is a strategy for subtraction problems when we are starting with a whole of 10. So let's get started learning all about the start with 10 strategy. You may have remembered learning about making 10. We have talked a lot about pairs of 10 and how that can really help us to be more fluent with our addition facts when we are familiar and can quickly recognize numbers that are pairs that make 10. Well, we're going to use that same idea today, but look at some subtraction problems. So the start with 10 strategy is for subtraction problems. Anytime you see a subtraction problem that starts with a whole or a total of 10. So you are going to be flexible with this strategy by using it anytime you see a subtraction problem that starts with 10. If you have a subtraction problem that doesn't start with 10, it might not be the most efficient strategy for that problem. But as you can see, we're going to look at these first two problems, and both of them are a subtraction problem or a takeaway problem that starts with a whole or a total of 10. I have modeled our whole of 10 on my 10 frame. And we know that this is showing 10 because it is a 10 frame and all of the boxes are filled. If all of the boxes on a 10 frame are filled, we know that that is 10. So I'm starting with my 10 and we are taking away or subtracting 5. You can show that in different ways. You could use a marker and cross them off. Or since I'm on Braining Camp, I'm going to actually click and I'm going to delete them. So we're going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We took away our 5 and now we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can be efficient to know that I am accurate with my 5 that are left, because anytime I see that top row on a 10 frame filled, I know that that is 5. I've worked with 10 frames enough that I don't even have to count those. I just know pretty quickly, oh, that's 5. So what I want you to look at is these two parts that we are now left with. We started with 10, we took away 5, and we were left with 5. Are you recognizing anything about what we know about this pair of numbers? What do you know about 5 and 5? They're a pair that make 10. So we talked about how we can use addition to help us with subtraction. So be thinking about that. 5 and 5 make 10. So when we start with 10 and take away 5, we can be sure that we're accurate to see if that other pair, that other number in that pair would make 10. Let's look at our next problem. This time we are again starting with 10, and there I have it modeled on my 10 frame, and we are taking away or subtracting 3. This time I'm going to use my marker to cross them off. I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3. And then we want to see how many we're left with. So again, we can be efficient with this strategy by knowing that top row is filled, so that's 5, 6, 7. So 10 minus 3 equals 7. Let's take a look at this pair of numbers. Do you notice anything about 7 and 3? Or do you remember anything about 7 and 3? They were a pair that made 10. Awesome. Let's try this strategy with a different tool. Okay, continuing with the start with 10 strategy for subtraction, this time we are going to use our base 10 pieces. So I have a rod or a long right here, and I know that in my rod or my long, I have 10 of these small cubes. So this is a great tool to use for the start with 10 subtraction strategy. My problem is 10 minus 9, or 10 take away 9. So I'm going to look at that rod, and I'm going to break it apart so that I can see those 10 little cubes, and I am going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we can really quickly see that we are left with just one cube. I can check to make sure that I'm accurate, and I can check to be efficient by knowing that 1 and 9 are a pair that make 10. So I know that my thinking is accurate. Let's try one more. 10 minus 6, or 10 take away 6. This time I am going to break apart my rod, but I'm not going to do any taking away or crossing out. I want you to think about how you can use what you know with pairs that make 10 to try and solve this subtraction problem. So if we're starting with 10 and we're taking away 6, can you think about what would be that pair with 6 that would get us back to 10? If you were thinking of the number 4, you are correct. If we took away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we could see that we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4. But we can be a little bit more efficient and check our accuracy by using those pairs of 10 that you're already so familiar with. All right, mathematicians, that was the start with 10 strategy for subtraction, and now it is your time to practice this activity or this strategy a little bit more with some of the activities that your teacher has for you.